Hello, how's everyone doing tonight or today, whatever, wherever you are in the world? Sunday night here in the East Coast of the U.S. Hello, everyone. This is Bryce K. Nielsen. I've got another video tonight. I'll be covering another chapter from Think and Grow Rich. This one's about decision, the mastery of procrastination. It's Principle 7, Think and Grow Rich. It's a shorter chapter. It's only like 16 pages long, and the original unedited text that I'm covering. Yeah, hold up a little bit. Okay. So, and there's not very many editor's comments in the audio version. I only had one when I was listening to it today, and that was a short one related to Henry Ford. They do talk about Henry Ford. Well, first of all, they say procrastination. Napoleon Hill says procrastination is the opposite of decision. Accurate analysis of over 25,000 men and women who had experienced failure disclosed the fact that lack of decision was near the head of the list of the 30 major causes of failure. Procrastination is the opposite of decision. And analysis, he had analyzed several hundred people who accumulated fortunes of more than $1 million. Every single one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly, quickly, and changing those decisions slowly. And a classic example of that was Henry Ford. Sometimes he was considered obstinate because of that. In the editor's comment, they said that Henry Ford wouldn't allow the color of the Model T to be changed. It was produced for 19 years. There was very little change in the design. It also says that when he met with Napoleon Hill, as he was interviewing people to write this book, at the very first meeting, the only thing Henry Ford wanted to talk about was his car. So he actually took Napoleon Hill on a driving tour of the factory, and then Napoleon Hill bought one of the cars. He also didn't talk at all unless he had to. There's a section that talks about how cheap opinions are. Everybody has them. If you're influenced by opinions of others when you're making decisions, you will not succeed in any undertaking. And you will have no desire of your own. Talks about not talking about your plans except to people in your mastermind. It's important you not specify why you're asking for information unless you know whether you can take the person into your confidence. It's important to listen rather than talk, because the people who talk too much generally do little else. The people who talk a lot generally do little else. All right. So let one of your first decisions be to keep a closed mouth and open ears and eyes. He also suggests printing up the words, tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. So that is a great bit of advice. You can put that big letter so that you can see it everywhere, see it every day. It's a good reminder. Now, there's several examples in here of decisions. The value of decisions depends upon the courage needed. Quite a few courageous decisions here. Most of these are related to American history. So, for example, there's a history of Abraham Lincoln and the decision to issue the Proclamation of Emancipation, which gave freedom to the people of color in America. Socrates' decision to drink the cup of poison rather than compromise his beliefs. It was a decision of courage. And then most of the chapter is spent covering the Declaration of Independence, signed in 1776, and also the actions of a few men that led up to that. So they talk about the history of the various situations that were going on in Boston, Massachusetts. Talk about Samuel Adams, and John Hancock, who were constantly getting in trouble from the governors there. And at one point, everybody else in the world, everybody else in the colony could get pardoned for their crimes against the British government, except for those two men. And that forced them to make other decisions. And they were also in a mastermind with Richard Henry Lee from Virginia, because Samuel Adams was writing to him back and forth. And this led to the correspondence committees, and it later led to the Continental Congress, which of course led to the Declaration of Independence, where 56 men risked their lives to sign that document. Because if the American colonies did not win the war that was going to follow, all of those men would be considered guilty of treason and they would all be hanged. So that was a very courageous decision. But that was an example of a mastermind. They all had one purpose. They were in harmony. It wasn't just a team. It wasn't just teamwork. It was a mastermind, as Napoleon Hill teaches it. Let's jump ahead. Thomas Jefferson reading the Declaration of Independence talks about the power of the decision. The spirit of that decision gave power to everybody in the army that was fighting, and the power is made up of the principles in this book. And he says in the story of the Declaration of Independence, 6 of the principles from the book are obvious, which are desire, decision, faith, persistence, the mastermind, and organized planning. I've gone over 4 of those already. Persistence is the next chapter, which I will start studying tomorrow, and then the mastermind comes after that. So I still have 6 principles left, doing one every week. Talks about indecision being something that a lot of people gain as a habit early on. That's certainly true for me. I posted a question in the write-up for this. Are you a decider or a procrastinator? And I have to be honest and say, for most of my life, I was a procrastinator. But I've decided to change that. So I'm making all sorts of decisions now. Learning leadership. You have to make decisions quickly and stick to those decisions. And we're not risking our lives when we make a definite decision to do a particular business or go after a desire that we have, a financial desire. But we are risking our economic freedom. So, like I said, that's a fairly short chapter. Even if you don't necessarily like all the examples in here, I encourage you to gain the lessons that are in those stories. And I'll see everybody on the next video next week, where we will discuss persistence. And I'm looking forward to it. This is a chapter that a lot of people need. I'm sure I need it. I need everything in this book, actually. But I'm complying with Napoleon Hill's instructions. You're supposed to read the book all the way through before you start implementing it, because you need to understand how all of the principles are interconnected. And I'm looking forward to doing some videos on other topics fairly soon too. Anyway, I appreciate my live viewers that have come on. If there's anything you want me to answer, and I'll check back for comments later, of course. So there it is. Are you a procrastinator or a decider? I'll leave you with that. And I'm going to end this now. Have a good day, night, everyone. Sunday night for me here. Okay. Bryce K. Nielsen signing out.